So Colorado is experiencing a much cooler and cloudier day today. Temperatures dropped to the low 70s and some places even got some rain. The Eastern Plains are now bracing for severe storm chances to end the work week. Thanks for joining us, everyone. At 5, I'm Phil Lipoff.
I'm Kim Christensen. Here in the metro area, temperatures are expected to rebound as we head into the weekend. Always nice. Senior meteorologist Chris Bianchi is with us now, though. It'll be warmer, but there's still storms. I mean, it's that spring pattern.
Exactly. And as we kind of transition to June, June is typically the peak month for severe weather in the state of Colorado. So far, to be transparent about it, and probably on a good news side of things, it has been a quiet start to our severe weather season in Colorado. In Denver, we've basically had no severe weather yet, though I do expect that to pick up in the coming days. Holyoke getting some needed rain here in Phillips County, the northeastern corner of the state. Some parts of the Eastern Plains have already picked up close to an inch of rain. That is good news here, folks. And again, the more kind of rain that we can get like today's rain, where yes, it's gray. Yes, it's certainly impacting some of those outdoor plans, but this is low impact water, right? We're not talking about a lot of severe weather today. We're not talking about a branch snapping sort of snow. What we're looking at, just some general showers around and enough water on the Eastern Plains that it is making a difference in the drought. We like this kind of rain, right? This is what I call, again, a good rain event for us on the Eastern Plains. Lyman, Fort Morgan on East seeing some of that steadier rain right now. In Denver, just a few drops of rain for us here in the metro, the steadiest rain over the Eastern Plains, but just some hit or miss rain showers. We actually have a little outflow boundary moving its way through Denver. You may get a brief rush of gusty wind, and that is popping up a few showers as well. Next few hours, we'll see those showers come on in from the south and east. So again, hit or miss showers in Denver. Best chance for rain will be south and east of Denver. So really kind of the 470 loop on south and east, that's where you have the best chance for rain showers tonight. And as we talked about, we do have the potential for some stronger storms later this week. I'll tell you about those in a couple minutes.
Yeah. Like, I think you're pretty lucky. It looks like it went through your lip and out your nose.
I don't think it went out my nose.
There's something there, because it was just the one gunshot?
Yeah.
Saw and heard some dramatic body camera video footage from the aftermath of a 2024 shooting that seriously hurt a teenager.
That boy and a friend wanted to take pictures on the property of a former Mountain View Town Council member's property in his home. Now Brent Metz is on trial for assault, menacing, and weapons charges. Kevin Vaughn from 9 News Investigates joins us now from the Jefferson County Courthouse. And Kevin, jurors heard a whole lot today.
Yeah, Kim and Phil, they heard from the boy who was with the victim during the shooting, and they also saw and heard that dramatic body camera footage and surveillance footage. This incident unfolded in a matter of seconds. It was outside Brent Metz's home that he confronted 2 boys who had been on his property. Suddenly, a gunshot tore through the windshield of the boy's car and hit one of them in the face. The first deputy to arrive at the scene found chaos. The camera in the courtroom didn't capture the video, but the audio illustrates how those moments unfolded.
We came to take photos. We were waiting for him to ask him. Okay. And he got out of his car and shot.
Shot?
Shot. Look at my windshield.
I was writing a letter to ask him if we could take photos on his car. I just heard a gunshot.
Metz's attorneys contend he was getting out of his truck and trying to holster his gun when he lost his balance and the gun inadvertently fired. They also argued that that specific model of weapon is notorious for going off even when the trigger has not been pulled. This trial is expected to last through the day Friday. Live in Jefferson County, Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
Kevin, thank you. We are days away from ballots going out for Colorado's state primary election. Many voters have yet to hear from the leading Republican candidate. Ministry leader Victor Marks is far and away the fundraising leader in the Republican race for governor. He's running an unconventional campaign, heavy on rallies with his supporters and appearances at evangelical churches, and lighter on extended interviews like his sit-down today with our Kyle Clark. Kyle spoke to Marks today at his training center, he calls it, in El Paso County, where Mark says he organizes overseas operations to rescue women and children as a quote-unquote high-risk missionary who gets into firefights with the enemy. That identity features heavily in Marks's fundraising, but he refused to tell us how many women and children his organization has rescued.
In 2021, you said we're best known for recovering women and children from ISIS. You said to donors in 2022, your donation empowers us to rescue women, children, and the exploited. You said in 2024 to donors, your faithful support helps to set captives free. But you're saying that your donors and voters don't get to know how many people you've actually rescued.
People trust that the work that we've done, which we've documented throughout all the years, is sufficient enough so that we don't put either those we've helped or us in unreasonable danger because of it. It's when we say, our mission statement is to set captives free, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I think what I've always said is true.
Well, Kyle asked him a lot of questions, and there's going to be a lot more coming up at 6 on Next with Kyle Clark, including Marks' role in performing hundreds of exorcisms and his claims that he directed a deadly U.S. military airstrike as a civilian. The only televised debate with all 3 Republican candidates is next week right here on 9 News. Victor Marks, State Senator Barb Kirkmeyer, and State Rep Scott Bottoms. A live commercial-free hour Tuesday, June 2nd at 6 p.m. 2 nights later, the Democratic primary candidates for governor will debate. We will host Michael Bennett and Phil Weiser for another commercial-free hour-long debate. It will happen next Thursday, June 4th at 6 p.m. Ballots go out early next month. The primary, June 30th.
A man will spend decades in prison for sexually assaulting a young girl at Pirates Cove Water Park in Inglewood. Investigators say 19-year-old Trenton Moscovito led the girl into a family changing room and assaulted her last summer. The girl told her mom. He was arrested later. Moscovito pleaded guilty in February to assault and sexual assault. He was sentenced to 22 years in prison. He will also spend time on probation.
A smoke shop in Fort Collins is being shut down for illegally selling kratom to minors. The state attorney general's office says an investigation found that Smokin' Genie on South Mason Street did not label their kratom products and illegally sold it to a minor. The investigation also found that a supply company sold these products to the shop between 2024 and 2026. The state and the shop have reached a settlement that also bans the owner from selling any products now for 5 years. And this all comes one day after the city of Denver moved to suspend the license of a smoke shop for allegedly selling products to minors, among other violations. A passenger train that will run from Denver to Fort Collins is moving closer to being a reality. Where that train should stop in Fort Collins, though, is sparking some debate.
In a city council meeting, organizers and city leaders discussed where that drop-off will be and why. 9 News' Northern Colorado reporter Amanda Gilbert explains.
A passenger train connecting people from Denver to Fort Collins. Many people like the idea, says Fort Collins Senior Transportation Planner Seth Lorson.
People are very excited about the train. All you have to do is have one trip down to Denver on I-25 and you know.
During Tuesday night's City Council meeting, the Front Range Passenger Rail District answered very Fort Collins questions about the Colorado Connector, or COCO, coming here.
Will bikes be allowed on the trains?
Yes, that's the plan.
The district plans to place the Fort Collins train stop near the Drake Max station off South College Avenue.
What's great about Drake Station is that it's centrally located. It's also along the MAX, our bus rapid transit.
Some, like Councilmember Ann Nelson, feel the station should be in Old Town.
And Old Town is what people come here for. So a station that's 2 miles away, connected by MAX, is workable. But it's not the same as arriving in the heart of the city.
I completely understand. Old Town is our historic transit depot. When we did an analysis of it, we didn't feel like physically the train could fit there. In fact, we would have to probably take out a building in downtown to be able to fit the platform.
For now, the city and the rail district say the passenger rail stop will likely stay at Drake because of money and time.
Looking forward to also loosening congestion on I-25 and reducing our pollution.
So as of now, that train should be making its way up to Fort Collins starting January 1st, 2029. In Fort Collins, Amanda Gilbert, 9 News.
The passenger train will offer 3 daily round trips between Fort Collins and Denver, 7 days a week, with 8 stops and a full trip time of about 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Proud of the guys in here. It's been a heck of a year, and we'll be back.
And with that, the Avs' dominant season comes to an end at the hands of the Vegas Golden Knights. The Knights defeated Colorado 2-1 last night to earn the series sweep. A first playoff sweep for the Avs in nearly 20 years. But there's still plenty to be proud of. As you know, the Avs had the best record of the season and made it this far, obviously. The team now faces a summer of questions, though. We're going to have much more on the Avs season coming up later on in sports.